Okay, guys, we are in the third episode. In this episode, I'm going to focus on this blank here and the windows and the chair, the main elements, like just the main elements. So first thing first, I will place the 3D cursor here. So Shift and right click to place the 3D cursor. Shift A and add a plane and rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees, and scale it on z-axis, and G move it on the z-axis. And yep, make it slightly the same as our reference. Doesn't need to be perfect. Number one, numpad 1 to go to the front view and scale it until it touches our pulse, like so. Okay, and I will go to edit mode and Control R to add a loop cut, just to give, like you can see in the reference. I don't know what they call it. So yeah, just G and Z and move it. E to extrude these faces and select the top one, and E to give it some depth as well, like our reference image. It doesn't need to be perfect, as I told you. These angled things, I will remove them because they are intersecting with our blank. So I will just move this backward slightly, but still it's not good. I will remove them definitely. So I will duplicate our support pulls and put them into their own backup collection. So M and move to the backup collection, and I will apply all the mirror modifiers. Control A to apply them. Just press Control, hover over the modifier and Control A, and press L here to select the linked faces or the linked objects, and X delete faces. And I will select my blank, and because I'm still selecting the faces, G and Y, and move it. Yep, now we are good. And now I need to make the windows. Sorry, the windows is a bit trickier because you can see. Shift A and add a plane, rotate it on the x-axis, scale it down, and G move it on the z-axis. Scale it again to make it roughly the shape, and Control A to apply the scale or apply all the transforms. Control R in the edit mode to add a horizontal loop cut and a vertical loop cut as well. Select them both, and Control B to bevel them by a value of 0.0247. You can just, you can see in this menu, in the pop-up menu. Control R to add a loop cut in the left side and one in the right side, and again one on the top and one in the bottom. I'm here doing a weird stuff. I don't know what I'm doing, but now, and I will add the loop cut on top and one in the bottom. Yay, amazing. Now I will select these faces that I want to extrude, these faces, and the ones also in the middle, because I need them to look slightly the same as our reference. Yeah, I'm just examining here to see which one that I need to extrude. E to extrude them, and select the window or the glass things and extrude them backward, something like this. And you can see we have a mess right here. So Alt to select this loop of edges, and E to extrude them, like so, and F to fill this place. And if we go to numpad 1, while I'm selecting this face, I to insert or inset, make sure you are enabling the wireframe view, which is Shift Z, and scale this thing and extrude it something like this to give it some depth, and it's good because I need to give it a glass material so we can see it through, like our reference image. And now I will play with this window until it looks good. Maybe go to edit mode, Shift Z, and select these faces and make it thinner on the sides because it's too thick. Make it thinner. Yep, something like this. It's good. Maybe scale it more because it's maybe. I will add a array modifier to give it 3 duplicates. You can see 3 counts, and scale it, or in edit mode scale it, not in the object mode. Just play with this. We can see it's thicker a little bit. Maybe just move these slightly, and the other side as well. And scale it on, select everything, A to select everything, and scale it on the z-axis, and as well scale it on the x-axis as well. and again move it on the x-axis just to be in the middle. Yeah, scale it and then move it slightly, as you can see, like this. It's good, it's good, not perfect, but it's good. It's not going to be showing up like fully showing up. And I will start by adding a plane and move it down under the windows and scale it roughly the same size as our windows. With the new update, we have the grab option, which is the reference grab option. G and B take our vertice and the vertice that we want to snap on, which is pretty good. We don't need to enable the snapping tool, which is really cool. And G and move these vertices into the ground because we don't need it to be backward under the ground. Control R to add many loop cuts. Double I to insert individually, and E to extrude them. And now maybe I'll apply a mirror modifier here just to fix the behind of this thing. Maybe I'll apply all the transforms and put our origin to the geometry. So set origin to geometry. You can do it manually, as my previous tutorial said. You can see in the first episode if you don't know how to do that. Yep, like this. And I will press Shift C to add the 3D cursor into the origin, and I will add, sorry, a plane. Go to edit mode, Control R to add a loop cut into here, select this plane, and E to extrude downwards like so. Maybe I'll select it all, A to select everything, and G and Z and move it back down, sorry. E to extrude this face slightly, and I will start by moving things until I see it's good. Like our reference, maybe it's too tall, it's going up, maybe, yeah, you can see. I will edit this thing because it's not perfect. Maybe move this face or move everything. Maybe select everything, Shift Z to select everything here, and G and move it on the y-axis slightly. Maybe give it something. And for the back also move it G and move it on the y-axis because we won't see it. Just play with it. After all, maybe these hearts I will disable them for now, and I will call them hearts, and I will take my base and name it as base. Yep. Organize, guys. Organize. You don't need to name everything, but if you are organized, name everything. And here I'm just naming my main things. Yep, what I'm doing right now. Maybe now I will start by playing with the chair, because yeah, the chair is a little bit complicated, but I can see these windows is overkill for the extrusion. I will just reselect my faces and G and move them in the y-axis slightly because they were too much extruded. Now I will play with my chair. I will just start by Shift A and adding a cube. We'll start with a cube because you can see these feet is like cubic shape. Shift A and add a cube and do the trick. Go to the edit mode and G and Z and move this cube along the Z axis. Now we can scale it on the ground. We don't need to do anything. And press E to select this face and press E and extrude it along the Z axis like so. And I'm so sorry if I'm lacking of talking today. So yeah, add some loop cuts. Control B to bevel this loops. Control R to add another loop cut. Control B to bevel it, and another loop cut on top. And select these two faces, 1 and 2, and E to extrude them slightly. Maybe I will add a mirror modifier. We don't need to make it manually, so add an array modifier on the y-axis. Select, while you are selecting these faces, you can Shift S and snap cursor to selected and go to the object and set the origin to the 3D cursor. And I will add another mirror modifier, sorry, and take our base as a reference, but it won't work for some reason to me. I don't know why. I will just move this one backward here. Overall, I will just remove this mirror because it's not good to me. It's not going to work. As I said, Alt D to duplicate. It's a linked duplicate. If you modify someone, it will modify in the other one. You can just press Shift D to so I will press Shift A and add a plane, and I'll scale it roughly in the size of a blank. So what I'm doing. So G, I move it on the Z axis slightly and select the face, and E to extrude it on the Z axis. We're good. And G, and move it on the Y axis. G, Z, and place it somehow something like this. And add an array modifier and make it on the Y axis by a value of 1.020, and the count, it doesn't matter, something like this. Shift D to duplicate this thing. It doesn't need to be like the same as our reference image. So I'm duplicating the blanks here and rotate it on the x-axis, and G, and move it on the axis, and R, X again. Yep. Maybe I'll move all the shape backward. Maybe. I don't know. You can see this AI generated image is not perfect. So we don't have the like a good quality image here. But you know, we can't scale everything, so make sure you are scaling on the medium point. Yep, like so. I will scale on the x-axis slightly. Maybe scale again, maybe like this. I don't know. Maybe I will add the trash bin here. I'm adding just a cube. Scale it roughly the same size as our trash bin. Add the loop cut and Control B, sorry, to bevel it, and add another loop cut and Control B. Just select these faces, and now Control or Alt E and extrude along normals, because I was doing a bad thing. Now we can bevel it. Now we are going to be good with the bevel. Add another bevel here. Control R, add loop cut and bevel. Slightly, something like this. And select these bottom faces to add some feet for our trash bin. Yep. Something like this. And E to extrude them along the Z axis slightly. And now I will select these faces and P and separate by selection. Add a loop cut, add too many loop cuts, not just a loop cut. With your middle mouse wheel, you can increase or decrease the counts. Yep. How many? 10 maybe? Yep, 10 loop cuts is enough. 10 loop cuts is enough. Yep. I will select every single one of them, unless these like these ones, we don't need them. Just unselect them. Yep. You can hold Control and unselect them. Double I and extrude along normals. Alt A to extrude along the normals. And now we are good. Select this face here and I to insert and scale it, or extrude it before we're going to scale it. Extrude along the Z axis. And now I will just select everything and scale it along the Y axis. It's a good trick. And G, and move this on the Z axis. I to insert this face, E to extrude it down, and B and separate by selection. Select this edge here, and G and Z, something like this. So it's okay. Select them both, Control G, and to join them. They are in the same object. And yep, that's it for our today's episode. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. And if you want to help me, donate in my PayPal account, you can see in the description. See you soon. Salam.